Whoa, 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 slow down there, trigger fingers. The video just started. There is no need to hit the dislike button yet. So, a Splatoon Battle Pass. This is obviously going to be a divisive topic, and I'm going into this video knowing that there's going to be people that despise the very title of this video. But I truly believe that if Nintendo were to make a Splatoon Battle Pass and handle it correctly, emphasis on handling it correctly, it could really help Splatoon propel as a series much further than where it even is right now. So, why a Splatoon Battle Pass? Well, Splatoon has always been designed as a live service game, meaning the world and the events that go on in it have always been something that's supposed to be changing. And to a slight extent, the world does kinda change when Splatfests take place, but there's never anything that's truly long-lasting that we, the players, have caused outside of two things, those two things being the two final fests. Splatfests as they stand now offer a very surface-level impact on how the world changes and evolves. What I mean by that is how sometimes characters will reference past Splatfests. Live service games are supposed to have their worlds change more throughout their lifespan, but to Nintendo, there's never been a real reason to change how the game's live events work in terms of how they impact the world. With Splatoon 2 having like 12 to 13 million players total, Nintendo could have totally, absolutely engaged these players better with in-game events that change the way things play out in the game. Now, with a Battle Pass, most people automatically and understandably, but wrongly, think of just the ranking up and unlocking rewards process. Typically in games like Fortnite, Halo, Destiny, when you view the Battle Pass, you're only shown the rewards that you're going to get when you rank up. Like most games have a specific Battle Pass tab that you can look at. But that's in no way all that you're paying for. Those three games Battle Passes do a ton more than just add in-game items. In fact, the in-game items you pay for and unlock by ranking up are by far the most insignificant parts of the Battle Pass that you actually purchased. The real meat and potatoes of a hypothetical Splatoon 3 Battle Pass system would be an evolving seasonal story and prolonged expansion of updates. Imagine this. Once every 3 months, Splatoon 3 gets a new Battle Pass, filled with 100 things to unlock, stuff like new gear, new weapon kits, and obviously with stuff with the weapon kits, you've got to allow free players to also earn them, so Nintendo could have like weapon kits maybe a little further down the progression track on the free path than the paid path. Even though the actual rewards and unlocks are the most insignificant part of the Battle Pass, just having things to work for and unlock would be so much more rewarding than the leveling system that Splatoon 2 has right now, where after you hit a certain level, it takes forever to keep going, and the only thing you're really working for is a star by your number. In the case of a Battle Pass, you'd have constant new things to grind for. You wouldn't have the issue of being demotivated by seeing your level move a tiny smidge after you've just worked yourself to death trying to clutch up in a ranked battle. Now, the meat and potatoes mentioned earlier, the seasonal story and additions to multiplayer. So imagine on top of Return of the Mammalians, we also got stuff like weekly story missions that progress the plot of a second campaign. Nintendo could spread this campaign out over the course of the Battle Pass, or maybe just drop the seasonal campaign story all at once. Each season's story would play into the next season's, and then after one Battle Pass ends, the next one drops and the seasonal story is refreshed with more to do. As for multiplayer, imagine if Nintendo dropped a new stage or two like every 3 months. They kind of did this with Shifty Stations, but most of them weren't up to standard to actually keep them in-game and playable for modes outside of Turf War. With a Battle Pass, Nintendo would have all the financial incentive to drop new maps every season. The new maps would be free to all players, with things like the story and the rewards only being for paying Battle Pass users. But there's one thing that really sold me personally on the idea of a Splatoon Battle Pass, and was my motivation to actually make this video. Imagine how long Nintendo could keep updating Splatoon 3 for. A Battle Pass costing like $10 every 3 months is a typical pricing option that most games use when a Battle Pass model is employed. Although they could do something like Ninjala where they have the more expensive option and a cheaper option for players that don't really care if they don't get as much but just want to go with the cheaper option to save more money. But imagine Nintendo giving Splatoon 3 frequent updates, meta refreshes, new maps, potential new modes, new campaign missions and story, and new gear for years to come, and I don't just mean 2 years. Like, hypothetically, with Splatoon 3 being more profitable from a Battle Pass, Nintendo would have every single financial incentive to keep making fresh content for Splatoon 3 all the way until we get a new Splatoon, which means we could get more new content for us Splatoon fans and more money for Nintendo. There's this really stupid argument that I know I'm gonna get in the comments that goes along the lines of, well, why doesn't Nintendo just keep doing all of this for free? They used to make free maps when Splatoon was getting updates. Well, yeah, why do you think the updates eventually stopped? It wasn't profitable for them to do anymore. Nintendo is a business and they're making games for one reason and one reason only, to make money. Obviously, the developers are different. They enjoy making games, but a developer isn't going to be able to continue their passion project for as long as they want without financial backing. So if Nintendo wanted to add a safe, non-predatory way to monetize Splatoon to get more players to spend money inside of it, as long as the players are getting their money's worth, then who is it hurting? Because it seems like a win-win. We get more Splatoon content for a longer time, and Nintendo gets to make more money. Obviously, there's ways Nintendo could screw this all up. They could overcharge and underdeliver, the content that they charge us for could end up sucking, they could make a predatory battle pass just to cash out on the players, that'll buy it just because it has the Splatoon name on it. And I hope it's obvious that I'm not saying all those bad endings are what I want. I want the good battle pass that I've spent the video trying to convince you guys to want too. At the end of the day, I as a Splatoon fan want Splatoon 3 to be supported for as long as possible, so I can escape to the Splatlands and spend some time living in the world Nintendo spent so long developing for us. The long periods of Splatoon just getting absolutely no content that we've been living through since the Final Fest in 2019 absolutely suck. And if a battle pass is a good way to solve that issue, then I am 110% on board, as long as Nintendo doesn't screw it up. One last thing I want to touch on is the argument that Nintendo wouldn't have the resources to keep updating their game for years and still give us a new game later on. If Nintendo was making a ton of money more, don't you think they'd be able to hire more people for the Splatoon team? And with more people comes more content and better content, thus snowballing the Splatoon series, making it bigger and better over time. So, like, what's the downside of a battle pass here? I think a lot of people are just turned away from the idea of a battle pass because of stuff like, ooh, yucky, Fortnite, they've got a battle pass, haha, Fortnite battle pass. No, the battle pass does a lot of good things for that series, and it does a lot of good things for the series that do the battle pass method. It's not something super harmful like loot boxes and stuff. There's a reason the video game industry is moving away from it, and thank God Nintendo never actually did like loot boxes with Splatoon before. But like a battle pass, I really like hate that there are so many people that just automatically think battle pass and think like, ew, gross, because we could get so much good from it. But anyways, that's it from me, gamers. If I as a dude on the internet was somehow able to change your mind about a Splatoon battle pass, maybe consider dropping a like or even subscribing. It always makes me smile knowing someone liked my videos so much to the point they'd want YouTube to recommend more of it to them. Alright gamers, see ya.